Wikifiends. I'm your host, Joe.
I'm eating a sandwich. Turn it off.
And that's David. And we are the Wikifiends.
So annoying.
The first article we have is Anthora. Have you heard of this one, Dave? No. Anthora is a paper coffee cup design that has become iconic of New York City daily life. Its name is a play on the word amphora. The cup was originally designed by Leslie Buck of the Sherry Cup Co. in 1963 to appeal to Greek-owned coffee cups in New York City, and was later much copied by other companies. The original Anthora depicts an image of an ancient Greek amphora, a Greek key design on the top and bottom rim, and the words, "We are happy to serve you," in an angular typeface resembling ancient Greek. For example, with an E resembling a capital sigma. The blue and white colors were inspired by the flag of Greece. The cup subsequently became the metropolitan area's definitive coffee-to-go cup. Sales of the cup reached 500 million in 1994, when it was by far the most popular design for the company's cups, but had fallen to about 200 million cups annually by 2005. One New York Times writer in 1995 called the Anthora perhaps the most successful cup in history. By 2007, it was mentioned in passing in a New York Times article review as one of those endangered artifacts. The trademark was acquired by the Solo Cup Company, which licenses sales of the cup. The Anthora coffee cup is featured in movies and television shows that are set in New York, such as Sopranos, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, NYPD Blue, Nurse Jackie, Mad Men, Law and Order, 30 Rock, Marvel's Daredevil, to name a few. Buck never made royalties from his design, but as a salesman, he was well remunerated, I never know how to pronounce that, for the success of the product. When he retired from Sherry Cup Co. in 1992, he was presented with 10,000 Anthoras printed with a testimonial inscription. After Buck's death in 2010, a New York Times writer described the motto on the cup as having welcome intimations of tenderness, succor, and humility. Now, you're familiar with this cup, correct?
Yeah, of course.
Can you switch it? Yeah. This is one of my favorite cups. I really like how they look. I like the blue color, and I like the little gold sort of coloring embellishments.
How's it spelled?
Anthora, Anthora, and I've seen they sort of licensed a lot of products that take on that aesthetic. So they have like ceramic coffee cups that are supposed to look like it. They've got, change purses that are supposed to look like, that look like it. But I've always really liked these cups, and I'm not particularly sure why. I think it might be a little bit of a nostalgia thing, but it's like a generally cute and sort of quaint item.
Yeah.
But also, it's quaint, but it's also sort of like big city-ish.
Yeah.
So there's like something interesting about these cups.
They're like Times Square cups. They look like...
They could be anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think another thing I liked is, like, I didn't see them too often, so it was kind of like a cool thing when it was like, oh, that place has those cool cups, I remember, like, sometimes my grandfather would have somewhere... Would have come back from somewhere and he had one of those. It's like, oh, where'd you go this time that he got one of those cups?
There's a picture of Jerry Seinfeld like covered in them.
That makes sense.
I guess that's like his world. That's like he represents the world where everyone has those.
Everyone's in New York and
drinking
likes New York stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I enjoy them a lot, and I've tried to buy them, but they're somewhat expensive. You've got to buy like 1,000 or something at a time.
When you first started reading this, I thought you were talking about that jazz style.
No.
That's similar, though.
What is it called?
Jazz,
It's called jazz?
I think so.
What do you mean?
The jazz coffee cup design.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know that one. I thought you were talking about the music jazz. No, it's like that's a '90s one where it's got the blue and green sort of aqua colors, sort of like splashed across.
Yeah, it's
going all around it.
Exactly. It's like a more kind of abstract one.
You know, I saw a Grateful Dead Steely, which is the Grateful Dead skull that had that design in the head of the Steely, and that's a popular motif with or not motif, but that's a popular thing that Grateful Dead fans will do. They'll combine two things that they enjoy: the Grateful Dead, and then an image within the Steely. So let's say they like the New York Giants,
dual citizenship.
Yeah, they like the Yankees. They'll put a big Yankee NY in the center of the head. Or if they like
to reflect their dual concerns.
Well, yeah, they're two loves. I would put the over the jazz cup though in a Steely. I would put an Anthora cup.
I see.
And it would say, "We are grateful for you."
Push the meme all the way.
Yeah. All right, so that's my first one. Do you have any?
Sure. I have this one, Tuscan artifacts, sometimes called the Tuscan lead crosses, or Silver Road artifacts, or Silver Bell artifacts, were 31 lead objects that Charles E. Manor and his family found in 1924 near Picture Rocks, Arizona, which were initially sometimes thought to be created by early Mediterranean civilizations that had crossed the Atlantic in the 1st century, but were later determined to be a hoax. So it's 31 lead objects consisting of crosses, swords, and religious ceremonial paraphernalia, most of which contain Hebrew or Latin engraved inscriptions, pictures of temples, leaders' portraits, angels, and a dinosaur inscribed on at least one blade of a sword. One contained the phrase, Callus, the unknown land, which was used by believers as the name of the settlement. The objects also had Roman numerals ranging from 790 to 900 inscribed on them, which were sometimes interpreted to represent the date of their creation, which, because the numerals were followed by the letters AD. The site contains no other artifacts, no pottery shards, no broken glass, no human or animal remains, and no signs of hearths or housing.
This was found in Tuscany?
No, it's called the Tuscan artifacts, but it was found in Arizona.
Oh, you mean Tucson?
No. Maybe it is Tucson. Yeah, it's not Tuscan. It's Tucson artifacts. Yeah.
Alright.
I thought it was like Tuscan, like tomato soup or something.
Well, that would be like a Tuscan village.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Tuscan villa.
No, it's Tucson lead crosses, or the Tucson crosses.
Okay. Who put it there?
They were objects that Charles E. Manor and his family found.
Mm-hmm. And that was like his property?
Let me see. On September 13th, 1924, Charles Manor and his father stopped to examine some old lime kilns while driving northwest of Tucson on Silver Bell Road. Manor saw an object protruding about 2 inches from the soil. He dug it out, revealing the object was a 20-inch lead cross, which weighed 64 pounds.
Lead? That's so weird. Lead.
Between 1924 and 1930, additional objects were extracted from the clache, a layer of soil in which soil particles have been cemented together by time. I can't even know this word, caliche, often takes a long period of time to form, but it can be made and placed around an article in a short period of time, according to a report written by James Quinn, a retired Tucson geologist who had worked for the U.S. Geological Survey. Quintain also concluded that it would be easy to bury articles in the soft silt material, and associated caliche in the lime kiln where the objects were found at the margin of prior trenches. The objects were believed by their discovery and main supporters to be of a Roman Judeo-Christian colony existing in what is now known as Arizona between 790 and 900 AD. No other find have been formally established as placing any Roman colony in the area nor anywhere else in North America. So, let me see.
So who put it? Are they positing that the guy who found him put them there, or is that just like he was a true believer?
I mean, I don't know. They don't really. They don't really say if he believes in it, but they say that the main believers believed it to be.
But they're not positing that it was a scam on his part to
I guess it says they're discoverer main supporters, so I guess yeah.
Okay, so he
they posit it's Judeo-Roman Christian colony in Tucson, and yeah.
But is anyone charging him oh, you just put these there? You created a false discovery.
Well, they're saying, well, at least the one guy says that it's in a place that could have been cooked.
Okay.
Because there's trenches, and there's this old soil over it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is do the detractors from it, are they saying you, the discoverer, put them there as a scam, or could it be it was there earlier from someone else who was running a scam? Or just burying things they had, weird items they had.
I mean, I think it's, at this point, they're not getting too much into
They're not.
The controversy.
Alright.
Let's just jump right to it. The views on authenticity. Maynard first took the item to the Arizona State Museum to be studied by archaeologist Carl Rupert. Rupert was impressed with the item and went with Maynard to the site the next day, where he found 7-pound clash-shaped plaque with some inscriptions, including an 1800 AD date. A total of 31 objects were found. Other contemporary scholars, including George Vaillant, a Harvard University archaeologist who had visited the University of Arizona in 1928, and Dr. Bashford Dean, curator of arms and armor at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, thought the articles were fake. Neil Merton Judd, curator of the National Museum of the Smithsonian Institute, happened to be in Tucson at the time of the discovery of the objects, and after examining them, also thought they were fakes, proposing that they may have been created by some mentally incompetent individual with a flair for old Latin in the wars of antiquity.
Because that's an odd thing, that was lead, make things out of lead? That's very odd.
Yeah, what would that even take?
Well, lead's a very soft metal.
Right.
I mean, so you would imagine it would easily get damaged. I mean, who just has a large access to lead, though? It seems like it would come from someone who has a easy access to lead.
Uh-huh.
And they're making these artifacts out of it.
Let's see. The supporters in the 1960s, Bent wrote a 350-page manuscript titled The Tucson Artifacts about the objects, which is unpublished, but kept by the Arizona State Museum. Both Maynard and Bent were supporters of the objects as genuine archaeological finds. Laura Coleman Ostrander, a Tucson immigrant and history school teacher, studied the historical background of the research and translated the alleged history of the Kalas from the writings on the items. Geologist Clifton J. Sorrell worked with Ostrander to present the Tucson artifacts to the press and academic profession. So, let me see. Oh, they're just kind of bringing them around, saying they believe in this shit. In 1975, Wake Forest University professor Cyclone Covey re-examined the controversy in his book titled Kalis, a Roman Jewish colony in America from the time of Charlemagne through Alfred the Great. Oh my god.
Well, that's pretty good. Is there any way I can buy any of these artifacts?
Probably cheap.
Any of them on eBay?
Don't get a knockoff though.
Yeah. Here are some ancient Roman bullets.
There's a possible creator. A local news article identified Timito Aduhu as the possible creator of the item. Adu was a young Mexican boy who lived near the site and was a sculptor. The article mentions his possible connection to the site and his ability to craft lead objects. Bent wrote that a craftsman in the area had recalled the boy, his love for sculpture of soft metals, and his collection of books on foreign languages, and told the excavators this. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's like circumstantial evidence.
Yeah, they didn't. There was no smoking gun. They didn't catch him carving a like a bust of a Nero or something.
It's funny though. It's like, well, there's that one kid. He liked to make lead stuff, and he had a bunch of old books. Well, that's all you need. Case closed.
Yeah, we don't want to do any racial profiling either.
Well, it's just like a funny thing. It's like, well, someone made all these crazy wooden houses, and I saw a guy with a lot of wood the other day.
A lot of books on how to make crazy houses.
Yeah. Like, right. It's like
could be
perfect.
All right. I'll move on to my next one. Let's see what I have here. I have a pop-out cake.
What is that?
Also called a jump-out cake or surprise cake, is a large object made to serve as a surprise for a celebratory occasion. Externally, such a construction appears to be an oversized cake, and sometimes actually is, at least in part. However, the construction is usually cardboard. The inside of the object has a space for someone, traditionally a young, attractive woman, to crouch and hide until the moment of surprise, when she then stands up and comes out of the cake. It says here, the ancient Romans held feasts featuring meat of one animal stuffed inside another. Eventually, Petronius attempted to make it look as if the animal stuffed inside appeared to be alive. I don't know how, but whatever. In medieval Europe, the entremet, a between-courses dish, developed into a form of entertainment, which could include the presentation of a pie with live animals such as doves and frogs bursting out. Such spectacles were known as early as the 1400s and continued into the 18th century.
Wait, what happens?
People were, in medieval Europe, it was a between-course dish that became a form of entertainment in which there was a presentation of a pie and live animals such as doves and frogs popped out of the pie.
It's so disgusting.
It was memorialized in the nursery rhyme "Sing a Song of Sixpence," wherein live blackbirds are placed into a pie shell to be served for a king's feast.
Oh my God.
In 1626, the Duke and Duchess of Buckingham presented King Charles I of England and Queen Henrietta Maria with a pie from which sprang the dwarf Geoffrey Hudson in a suit of armor. The date of the pie banquet was the 5th of November, 1626. The concept became notorious after Stanford White put on a dinner on May 20th, 1895 that included a scantily clad girl, Susie Johnson, emerging from a pie made from galvanized iron, accompanied by a recitation of Sing a Song of Sixpence. A few months later, the pie girl having disappeared, the world ran a lurid expose of the episode that emphasized the prominence of the guests, who included Nikola Tesla and Charles Dana Gibson. The scandalous nature of White's affairs. White himself was eventually murdered by Harry Thaw, the husband of White's former lover, Evelyn Nesbit. The episode became a sign for the decadence of art and high society. By the 1950s, women popping out of cakes was common at male-only parties in the United States. It eventually became common for showgirls to pop out of cakes for celebratory occasions. The pop-out cake has become something of a standard entertainment at bachelorette and bachelor parties. See some famous examples. Pop-out cakes are a common trope, used especially in television and film, with notable examples such as Erika Leniak in 1992's Under Siege, Mariah Carey in the music video for the 2001 song Loverboy, and the Joker in the September 11th, 1992 Joker's Favor episode of Batman the Animated Series. Often the person jumping out of the cake is a stripper, showgirl, or model during a celebration. For example, Naomi Campbell popped out of a cake in 2004 for her then-boyfriend Usher's 26th birthday party. Comedian Bill Murray jumped out of a cake in celebration of David Letterman's 2015 retirement from Late Show. Let's see here. The pop-out cake has been used as a metaphor. This is weird. Sir Fred Hoyle was an advocate of the steady-state theory of the universe and considered theories that described a beginning as pseudoscience. When he coined the term Big Bang on BBC Radio for the theory that he opposed, he stated that it was as undignified a way to describe the beginnings of the universe as a party girl jumping out of a cake. That's pretty good, right?
That's crazy.
I like how also they have, under C, also they have list of cakes. Like it would fall under a real cake.
Oh, yeah. What kind of cake are they usually? Is it usually like, it's any flavor?
It's usually cardboard.
Well, I know it's usually cardboard, but...
It's usually cardboard with, like, frosting on the outside to make it look like cake.
I guess it doesn't matter.
No. Could you imagine if it was, like, a model, like, I'm not getting in a chocolate cake.
Yeah. I'm allergic.
Well, I don't want to come out looking like I have shit on me.
Well, it could be an allergy thing. If there's, like, peanuts, something...
Oh, yeah, are these nuts in this cake?
Yeah. I'd be nuts to get in this cake. I like how you were reading about it, like, popped out of a cake, like that, like a verb, like.
Oh, that guy?
No, you were just telling all these stories. In 1932, James Joyce popped out of a cake, and then also Oscar Wilde popped out of a cake, like it's just kind of. It's like, it should be a thing that, like...
It would be like a weird fad thing, like the hunkering, or flagpole sitting.
Just suddenly, all your friends are, like, have popped out of a cake.
It's like a hot meme where you take pictures of you popping out of a cake.
Cake popping squad. Like.
Yeah, maybe we could start that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Good meme.
Alright, you got another one?
Yeah, it's kind of like, there's more of a question aspect to it. It's kind of a more loose one. We could jump right into that kind of shit, though.
Yeah, sure.
Lifeboat ethics.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with this.
Lifeboat ethics is a metaphor for resource distribution proposed by the ecologist Garrett Hardin in 1974. Hardin's metaphor describes a lifeboat bearing 50 people with room for 10 more. The lifeboat is in an ocean surrounded by 100 swimmers. This is a little more complicated than I thought. The ethics of this situation stem from the dilemma of whether and under what circumstances swimmers should be taken aboard the lifeboat. Mm-hmm. Hardin has compared the lifeboat metaphor to the spaceship Earth model of resource distribution, which he criticizes by asserting that a spaceship would be directed by a single leader, a captain, which the Earth lacks. Hardin also asserts that the spaceship model leads to the tragedy of the commons. In contrast, the lifeboat metaphor presents individual lifeboats as rich nations and the swimmers as poor nations. Other issues which can be raised include: is it acceptable to deny an obviously dying passenger food and water to save it for others with a better chance to make it? Is it acceptable to jettison the dying passenger knowing they will die within minutes to make room for someone else? If food is low, is cannibalism of corpses acceptable after they die? If it is acceptable, is it certain they are going to die in a day or two to murder them to preserve the resources? or to let someone on board. If cannibalism is acceptable after they die, if it is certain they are going to die in a day or two, to murder them in order to commit it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I thought it was just more, it's like you're three guys in a boat.
Is it okay to eat one of them?
Yeah, and right. Like, if one attacks you, like, can you kill him?
Well, if one attacks you, of course you can kill him. You don't need to be in a lifeboat for that.
Well, yeah.
You could be in a room and you could kill somebody if they started trying to kill you.
But if nobody's committing aggression, but somebody's sick.
Somebody's sick?
Hold on, let me find it. There's like a list of shit like.
Are you just going to use this as a jumping off point for any like moral dilemma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean they have these questions. Is it acceptable to jettison a dying passenger, knowing they'll die in minutes, to make room for a stronger person?
I guess. Do you have a follow-up?
No. What's your...
Can we solve it?
Problem solved.
I mean, I hate to be so like cold about it, but it's
explain
like,
your reasoning. Like why? Like
well, I said I guess, right?
Yeah. So you're
I mean, if he really is dying and there's no way you can save him,
you're a reluctant.
I mean, that's sort
realist.
of like triage type shit, you know?
Yeah. What is that?
Triage. Well, it's not quite triage. Triage is like in like an ER type scenario, like you like the protocols for who you attend to first.
I see.
So it's like, I think it's like the person who needs it most that you could save or something.
Yeah.
But but if it's someone who's way worse off, but it doesn't look like you can save them, maybe you go to the next person. I don't know what the protocol is for triage. I think it's like the worst case, which you think you can save.
I see.
Do you want to ask me more, or is that...
Hold on. I'm having technical difficulties.
Sounds like it.
All right, so I have some discussion questions. Mm-hmm. This is from somebody's college paper.
You're not on Wikipedia anymore?
No, this is off Wikipedia. So, do you think that people will always be fundamentally selfish or self-interested?
Is this like a thing about like psychological egoism? Everyone always acts according to their own self-interest?
It's like, it's pertaining to, we're thinking about the lifeboat situation where you're deciding.
Well, I think everyone always acts according to their own self-interest.
Yeah, do you think...
Regardless of whether or not they're on a lifeboat.
And you think that people will always be fundamentally like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So governments need to take individual responsibility. Agree or disagree?
No.
So you don't agree with if each country is solely responsible for its own well-being, poorly managed ones will suffer. But
I don't believe in government, so it's not...
So you disagree?
Well, I don't agree on... I can't agree on it. I don't believe that government has any role.
You say governments need to take individual responsibility. Disagree, because I think they should exist.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, population control is necessary all over the world.
But they're not coming at it from my side. They're coming at it from they're not coming at should governments exist or not. They're calling does government have a role in supporting or sustaining other governments?
I think that's the only one about government.
Well, no, the next one isn't either.
Population control is necessary all over the world. Agree or disagree?
Well, that's about government. I mean,
so it's not necessary. Yeah. Developed countries need to limit immigration to save their own resources.
False.
Saving the poor today means diminishing the quality of life for others in the future.
false. I guess I don't believe that, but I mean, it depends on who's saving them and how. I don't categorically believe it, but I mean, maybe if you're stealing from someone to give to the poor, yes, it could adversely affect people in the future. But it doesn't necessarily if you're helping them without introducing theft or introducing,
So you don't agree that in and of itself saving the poor today means diminishing the quality of life for others in the future?
No.
I agree that it could, if in certain ways.
It could, depending on how it's being done, but I don't think it's a categorical.
Yeah. Like, it's not just to save the poor is not to diminish quality of life.
Yes.
But it could be. There could be transfers.
A lot of times, I would say it's better. It's beneficial, but I might be being an optimist.
All right, so those are the big toughies.
All easy. All astoundingly easy.
Developed countries need to limit immigration to save their own resources.
No.
I think we did that one.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Do you think helping the poor is an important virtue? Is it a virtue that you aspire to? This is like a personal perspectives one.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it depends on how you're saying help.
So, alright. So you want to just run through some generics real quick?
Alright.
Oh my God. Carrie is working as a doctor in a hospital. Due to an accident... Oh, I know. Everybody knows this one. Due to an accident in the building next door, there are deadly fumes rising through the hospital's ventilation system. It's going to cause deaths of her patients because of the fumes. The only way to avoid the deaths of these patients is to hit a switch that causes the fumes to bypass the room containing 4 patients. If she does this, so she has to kill someone to save ones.
To save more people?
Let me see. No, it's 1 versus 4.
She has to kill 4 to save 1?
To avoid so she's going to kill someone. She's going to turn it on so it goes all into one room where this one person is.
To save 4 people.
To save 4.
So it's just a trolley dilemma.
Well, yeah, and it's the you're killing someone.
That's the trolley dilemma.
Yeah. Well, it's right. It's not just it's saving. It's like she's going to have to redirect the gas. Yeah.
It's just the trolley dilemma with gas instead of a trolley. Hold on.
All right, let's do one last question. You are an emergency worker that has just been called to the scene of an accident. When you arrive, you see that the car belongs to your wife. Mm-hmm. Fearing the worst, you rush over, only to see she is trapped in her car with another man. He is obviously her lover with whom she's been having an affair. Mm-hmm. You reel in shock, devastated by what you just found out. As you step back, the wreck in front of you comes into focus. You can see your wife is seriously hurt and needs attention straight away. Even if she gets the immediate attention, there's a very high chance she'll die. You look at the seat next to her and see her lover. He's bleeding heavily from a wound on the neck, and you need to stem the flood of blood immediately. If you attend to your wife, her lover will bleed to death, and you may not be able to save her anyway. If you work on the lover, you can save his life, but your wife will definitely die. Mm-hmm. Who do you choose to work on? It's kind of a ridiculous one.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing on what you like. You're like bringing your emotions, but who knows what you would really like. What the individual encountering it would be feeling. I guess you just try to save both. And which the one where one will definitely die?
If you work on the lover, your wife will definitely die, mm-hmm. and there's a chance if you do work on her, she might not live anyway.
And if you work on her first, they both might die.
Yeah, if you work on it, right. But
that's hard.
She needs to be worked on first.
That's what they are saying?
Yeah. Like she's gonna...
She will definitely die.
Yeah.
All right. I guess they answered it then.
So the lover...
Wait, what are you saying?
No, I don't know. What's the... what do you mean is the answer?
I thought you just said that she needs to be worked on first.
Yeah.
That's the answer?
No, but it's like, which would you choose? Who would you choose?
All right, well, you worded it in a weird way.
That's like a dilemma. Like,
well, it's not a dilemma if you say she needs to be worked on first. You should ask me, does she need to be worked on first?
well, you have to decide to work on one of them first, and whoever you choose first is probably going to be the one to live.
But in one circumstance, she could die either way.
Yeah.
Or if you go to her first,
There's a chance she'll live, but she's almost more likely to die.
And if you work on the guy first, she'll definitely die.
And he'll definitely live.
I guess you work on the guy first. You don't want to lose two people.
That's right. Well, if you're an emergency worker, it shouldn't matter, but it's kind of a conflict of interest question,
Yeah.
Because if you're...
I think that's why it's the thing, like, you're not supposed to work on your family members.
Right. The pregnant woman and the dynamite. A pregnant woman is leading a group of 5 people out of a cave on a coast. And a coast is stuck on the mouth of that cave. In a short time, the high tide will be upon them, and unless she is unstuck, they will all be drowned, except for the woman who is at the head of the cave. Unfortunately or unfortunately, someone has with them a stick of dynamite. There seems to be no way to get the pregnant woman loose without using the dynamite, which will inevitably kill her. But if they do not use it, everyone will drown. What should they do? They literally have to blow up a pregnant woman to get out.
I mean, I guess if you're on the inside, it's clear that you use the dynamite.
Right.
If you're the woman, it's clear that you don't want them to use the dynamite.
It seems like another conflict of interest.
Yeah.
What should they do? That's kind of an interesting question.
Ethically, what should they do?
Yeah. What should they do?
I don't think anyone would be morally wrong for trying to save their own life.
Right.
If that means blowing up the woman to keep themselves from drowning.
Right.
It's not good, though.
It's so outlandish. It's kind of... All right.
I like ones that are that sound like, what if, you can stop a child from being run over by pushing a fat man off a bridge into the path of the car?
Yeah, no, that's one of the variants of the trolley.
They're so weird.
Hold on.
All right, let's not dwell too much on non-Wikipedia pages. I don't like.
Well, it's from it.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
I thought you were on a different page.
No, but we came here through Wikipedia.
You can't use sources as whole articles.
Alright, so you want to move on?
Yeah, let's move on. Alright, let's see. Let's see what other ones I got. I've got some good ones that I had been sort of saving us, some short ones. Derby's dose. You familiar with this?
No.
Derby's dose was a form of torture used in Jamaica to punish slaves who attempted to escape or committed other offenses like stealing food. According to Malcolm Gladwell in his 2008 book Outliers, the runaway would be beaten and salt, pickle, lime juice, and bird pepper would be rubbed into his or her open wounds. Another slave would defecate into the mouth of the miscreant, who would then be gagged for 4 to 5 hours. The punishment was invented by Thomas Thistlewood, a slave overseer and named for the slave Derby, who was made to undergo this punishment when he was caught eating young cane sugar stalks in the field on May 25th, 1756. Thistlewood recorded this punishment as well as further punishment of Derby in August of that same year in his diary. Jesus Christ. On November 18th, 2013, Derby's dose came to prominence when British television host Martin Bashir discredited a comparison made by U.S. politician Sarah Palin described between the United States' death to China and slavery. In pointing out how cruel and barbaric slavery was, Bashir used Derby's dose as an example. At the end of the segment, he finished by saying that if anyone truly qualified for a dose of discipline from Thomas Thistlewood, Palin would be the outstanding candidate. he was criticized for this comment and ultimately resigned. So he's saying, like, she doesn't know how horrible it is. It should happen to her.
So wait, what do they? Is that they shit on them and they wait? What is the whole rigmarole?
They're beaten, and then salt pickle, lime juice, and bird pepper are rubbed in their open wounds.
So they're beaten and their wounds are aggravated.
Yeah, they put like acidic stuff on it, and
Yeah.
then another slave shits into their mouth, and then they're gagged up so they can't like spit it out.
It's like some Sadian shit. Like it's like some real like libertine punishment.
I wouldn't use the word libertine.
I mean, it's just so.
I would say sadistic is probably, if you're going to go for sod, I'd say sadistic is way better, but it's sort of like the human centipede thing with the shit in the mouth and you can't.
Well, it seems like it would kill someone. It's just like a.
Apparently it didn't.
Ay.
Because this derby was punished more later on. Yeah, it's pretty horrible. All right, you got any more fun ones?
Hold on. Incorruptibility. Incorruptibility is a Roman, Catholic, and Eastern Orthodox belief that divine intervention allows some human bodies, specifically saints and the beauty, to avoid the normal process of decomposition after death as a sign of their holiness.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with this.
Bodies that undergo little to no decomposition or delayed decomposition are sometimes referred to as incorrupt or incorruptible. Incorruptibility is thought to have occurred even in the presence of factors which normally hasten decomposition, such as the cases of St. Catherine of Genoa, Julie Billard, and Francis Xavier. In Roman Catholicism, if a body is judged as incorruptible after death, this is generally seen as a sign that individual is a saint. Canon law allows inspection of the body so that relics can be taken and sent to Rome. The relics must be sealed with wax, and the body must be replaced after inspection. These inspection rituals are performed very rarely and can only be performed by a bishop respecting canon law. A pontificate commission can authorize the inspection of relics and demand a written report. After solemn inspection of the relics, it can be decided that the body is presented in an open reliquary and displayed for veneration. Catholic law allows saints to be buried under the altar, so Mass can be celebrated above the corpse. The relics of Saint Bernadette were inspected multiple times, and reports by the church tribunal confirmed that the body was preserved. The opening of the reliquary was attended by multiple canons and the bishop and mayor in 1919, repeated in 1925. Not every saint, however, is expected to have an incorruptible corpse. Although incorruptibility is recognized as supernatural, it can no longer be counted as a miracle in the recognition of a saint. Embalmed bodies are not recognized as incorruptibles. For example, although the body of Pope John remained in a remarkably intact state after his exhumation, church officials remarked that the body had been embalmed. In addition, there was a lack of oxygen in his sealed triple coffin. Incorruptibility is seen as distinct from the good preservation of the body and or for mummification. Incorruptible bodies are often said to have the odor of sanctity, exuding a sweet or floral or pleasant aroma.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that from X-Files.
Odor of sanctity?
Yeah.
So, let me see. So there's a bunch more instances of it in the Eastern Orthodox. It's all pretty much the same. They just bring them out once in a while. They say they smell good.
Yeah.
They haven't rotted. They say, okay, here's some weird ones. During the marble excavations of the Appian Way in spring 1485, workers found 3 marble coffins. In one, 12 feet underground, was the corpse of a young girl, said to have looked as if she had been buried that day, despite being over 15,000 years old. The corpse attracted 20,000 plus crowds of spectators in the first few days, many of whom believed it to be Tullus Ciceronis, whose epitaph was on one of the tombs. So that's pretty weird.
And any tips on how to become incorruptible?
See, there's no scientific
I didn't mean scientific tips. I meant just tips in general.
You just gotta be a saint or be beified.
Be more saintly. Is that the key?
I guess so.
But it's not all saints are incorruptible, right? Only a select few.
Not all saints are incorruptible.
Hashtag not all saints.
Yeah. Or what is it? You don't have to be a saint to be incorruptible. But if you're incorruptible, you're probably a saint.
You don't have to be incorruptible to work here, but it helps.
This one just made me feel weird, though. Like, all that shit. Because I looked at some of them.
Because it reminds you of death?
Well, there's that, but I looked at some of them that they claim, and it's like, I don't know.
All right, I got some more to burn off, or would you prefer to move on to Aladdin?
You want to just do old Aladdin?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I have any quick ones that I could just rip through. I got one quick run. quick one. Newfie, also a noof, is a colloquial term used in Canada for someone who is from Newfoundland, most often as a slur to refer to someone foolish or proud from that place. The word was first recorded in 1942 Dictionary of Slang. However, at this time, Newfie only referred to Newfoundland itself. A Newfoundlander was a Newfier. During the Second World War, sailors on convoy duty nicknamed St. John's, the capital of Newfoundland, Newfie John. The first edition of the Gage Canadian Dictionary, published in 1983, and the second edition of the Random House Unabridged Dictionary, published in 1987, both include usage notes describing the term Newfie as offensive. However, neither the second edition of the Canadian Oxford Dictionary, published in 2004, or the current edition of the Dictionary of Newfoundland English, published in 1998, make such a mention. In March 2006, an Edmonton police officer was disciplined for using the word Newfie to describe the apprehension of an individual under the Mental Health Act. In the 1970s, the government of Alberta added the term Newfie to a list of words not allowed to be used on personalized license plates, reasoning that it was an ethnic slur and hateful. In 2006, a man from Newfoundland argued that it was also a source of pride and fought to have the word removed from the list, and he eventually won. As of 2008, the ban has been lifted. So that's a fun little story. It's sort of reclaiming the N-word. They're reclaiming the Newfie.
It's a direct parallel.
Yeah, it's the Canadian,
Yeah.
the Canadian parallel. Like what if it's like we don't say Newfie, we say Newfie. Like Newfie.
Yeah.
We don't say Newfier, we say Newfie.
So we saying that around here.
Yeah. All right. Well, should I just move on to Aladdin?
Yeah. Let's see.
Do 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 do. No, how's it go? You want to sing it?
No.
You don't want to sing it?
No.
Let's see. More often than not, are harder than hot in a lot of cool ways. You want to do a little Gilbert impression?
No. So how many more of these are there?
I don't know. There's like 50 more.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to think of where we... Let's see. The Sands of Fate, episode 36. As Aladdin and his friends journey through one of the 7 endless desert, they witness a battle between the riders of Ramond and some marauders, which is suddenly cut short. The wise seer, Fasir, appears to them, saying that it is their fate to repeat this battle. Aladdin tries to stop them and ends up one of their own. Soon only Genie and Iago are left, and they learn that a mystical gem which fell from a chest is the cause of this battle. Now Genie and Iago must prevent the gem from falling, or their friends and the riders of Ramond are doomed to be locked in time forever. That one's not bad.
That's weird, yeah.
Yeah, it's like very sci-fi-ish. Like time travel stuff.
Just letting themselves go.
Well, I don't know what you mean by that. It makes it sound like they're getting fatter.
The story sounds fatter. I think fatter dudes write it.
That was Bill Motz and Bob Roth. No, wait, that was Richard Stanley. Richard Stanley wrote that one. Bill Motz and Bob Roth wrote the next one, The Citadel, episode 37. After facing off against the magical creature threatening the city, Aladdin encounters the wizard responsible for the creature, a young sorcerer called Mazenroth, who took control of the land of the Black Sand after attaining the former ruler's power and turning him into a slave. Seeing Aladdin's bravery and wit, Mazenroth offers him a job, but when Aladdin turns him down, he resorts to kidnapping Genie. Now Aladdin and his friends must rescue Genie before he is devoured by the magic-devouring creature. The third act. Sounds like the third act.
Probably is that.
That episode had some third act problems. Episode 38, Snowman is an Island. It's a pun title. While passing through a frozen wasteland, Aladdin, Genie, and the others encounter an abominable snowman's castle. Which I kind of like. I never hear about an abominable snowman having a opulent home. The Yeti lets them pass, all but Genie, who must stay to entertain him. Aladdin and the others must devise a way to sneak the Genie past the snowman, and wind up teaching the snowman to entertain himself in the process. That's sort of like the one with the kid. Mm-hmm. Remember where the kid wanted to keep keep Jasmine forever to tell him stories?
Yeah. It's like
I definitely remember seeing this one also.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You did. Well, it's like no real villain in this one. Just kind of like ignorance is the villain.
Yeah, I guess. Like a gentle giant that doesn't know his own, what he's doing is wrong. Like a Lenny type. Alright. Episode 39, The Secret of Dagger Rock. Aladdin is captured by Mazenroth, who demands Genie as an exchange. Jasmine, who feels responsible for not being able to help when she witnessed Aladdin's sudden abduction, wants to help rescue him. When her father forbids her, she goes disguised as a palace guard to help rescue Aladdin. So that one, Jasmine's really getting in the mix. And they've got a little bit of a cross-dressing type stuff. Like some Mulan aspects.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Or what is that, is that Shakespeare?
I don't know.
I thought there was some Shakespeare about...
There probably is about people cross-dressing.
What's like a woman pretending to be, I feel like in situations.
I'm not good at Shakespeare. Alright, and then one more. Episode 40, In the Heat of the Fright.
This is Halloween.
I don't know, maybe. It's aired right after Halloween. 4 days after Halloween. Aladdin and company have been assigned to chart a river through neighboring lands, but on the way they come upon a burning village. After rescuing the people from the fire cats who attacked it, the source of the mischief reveals herself, Mirage, a cat-like entity who is described as evil incarnate by Iago. As nightfall begins, the genie becomes increasingly afraid of Mirage, who moves the group back on the way to Agrabah. But due to sleepiness, they are instead transported to Mirage's own world, Morbia. Here they must battle the fire cats to defeat Mirage. But as Genie discovers, he must first conquer his own fears, and that is what they feed on, before Aladdin and company can escape. And it says Jasmine is absent from this episode, but Mirage appears disguised as her.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, this one kind of seems almost like a Super Nintendo game, doesn't it? There's a couple layers of villain in different forms. particular like underlings that look like the villain, and they've got to fight them to get on their way.
Yeah, it is. It's like there's like a narrative of action and conflict, stage to stage.
I wonder. I would be interested to see this. Well, I'd be interested to see all of them, I guess, but
all of them translated into that format.
well, I'd be interested in seeing all these episodes. I mean, I could probably watch them in a few days if they made them available. Take us up on it, Disney.
Oh, you haven't? How do you can't find those on YouTube?
I don't know. Maybe I haven't looked. I want them on Netflix. They should be on Netflix. I don't have to go looking at some third
party.
Well, less than Well, I guess YouTube is somewhat reputable, but I don't want to. I want legitimate. And I want it in HD. All right, what do you think of that one?
It was all right.
Yeah.
I like the. There's some other one I liked better.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else?
Nah.
No, you want to have a freeform chat?
How much do we have? Do you see how much time?
1694 bars. I don't know what that translates to in minutes.
Can't you hit the button to make it change the time?
We have an hour.
We have an hour's worth?
Yeah. Should I cut all that out?
No, that's fine. Hold on, let me... here, listen to this one. I was looking at other thought experiments in ethics, and this one's so stupid. The Lecherous Millionaire.
Sounds good.
The Lecherous Millionaire is a thought experiment devised by Joel Feinberg to illustrate questions concerning coercion. It presents a scenario in which a millionaire offers to pay for medical care for a woman's ill child on the condition she has sexual relations with him. While the millionaire is making an offer, he nevertheless seems to be coercing the woman.
Mm-hmm. I would say it's not technically coercion, but it is slimy.
Well, it's like a weird thought experiment. It's just like, imagine in your head this slimy millionaire. It's like, maybe you have sex with me, I'll pay for your kid. It's just kind of like, it's a funny just scene. Like, yeah. I guess I see how it's like a tool. Like you're asking me to do this, like the way, you know what I'm saying, like a millionaire.
I would say it's, unless he's like created this scenario where he put the child's health at risk.
Right. He's
not responsible for the child's health.
Yeah.
So I don't think it is coercion, but it's definitely gross, and you would imagine people would be like, well, that guy's a big perv.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not just a perv. It's like, he's like a vulture. It's like he's not showing, like, moral agency.
He's showing moral agency. He's not showing empathy.
I mean, I would argue that's moral in a certain way.
He's showing agency, though. He has agency. It's not like he's operating.
Well, I mean, and to a certain degree, he's showing empathy. He understands what she cares about.
I don't even think he is showing empathy.
Well, he understands what she's feeling, but he's not choosing to.
That's not showing it. That's not showing empathy, though. It's not. That's being aware of someone's feelings and not empathizing with them, and using that for your own gain.
It's like negative empathy.
It's just not empathy at all. Empathy would be if you felt, if you could feel, like you can imagine feeling how they feel. This one, you just know how they feel, and you're using it for your own ends.
It's just manipulation.
Negative empathy.
Well, I mean, I'm saying it is. It's like
the only thing is like reverse racism.
Well, it is. Yeah. It's a person who is empathetic, but they choose to use it for.
They're not empathetic though.
Because if they were empathetic,
they just understand how someone's feeling, but they don't empathize with the person.
So if it was true empathy, he would be doing the right thing.
Well, not even that, but he could have empathy but not do the right thing.
Yeah.
But empathy would be he could feel, have a sense of how he could have like feel how she's feeling, imagine how she's feeling.
Right.
In this one, he just understands that she's in distress
Yeah.
And he's not empathizing with her. I mean, he could be empathizing with her theoretically.
And choosing to do the bad thing.
Yeah, he could. It could be a thing where he empathizes with her, but he just doesn't care.
Yeah, right.
But it doesn't seem like it. It seems like he's just using... He understands that she's in distress and is using that to seduce her.
Well, I wonder about things like dark empathy, though. It's like, it's like you do have the understanding and the connection.
I don't think that's a real thing. I don't think dark empathy is a real thing.
Or but you get the concept, though, right? It's like the idea is you understand someone completely, but you still...
I understand you're saying it, but I don't think it's a real concept. Yeah. Did you turn that bathing lady figure around so her butt was showing?
No.
I know how that happened. I should probably... I'll just leave it in.
I'll cut it later.
Alright, I have a quick little one. All burn-offs today. Pili Gemini, is of malformation characterized by the presence of bifurcated or multiple divided hair matrices and papillae, giving rise to the formation of multiple hair shafts within the individual follicles. Electrolysis will permanently remove Pili multigemini. Depilating laser treatment has been suggested to improve symptomatic Pili multigemini. There's a picture you can feel free to look up, which I will show you now, Dave.
What the fuck is this?
It's a hair, and a bunch of hairs are growing out of one hair follicle. You ever get those?
No.
I get them in my beard fairly often. They're really gross.
Yeah.
They hurt, and they're
What's this usually in facial hair? It seems like more of a body hair thing than a head hair thing.
I get it in my facial hair. I've never had it in my head hair. I have it in my beard all the time. And they're really gross and coarse.
Ew.
It hurts. I think you can feel it.
Yeah. It seems like some beard skin thing.
It's actually it does hurt, but it's also sort of like how popping a pimple's fun.
Ew.
Like popping a multi-hair.
Hold on. I read something so gross the other day. I gotta find
on this. Wikipedia?
No. But related. Related to
Alright, I'll allow it.
Quit acting so pure.
Well, it's Wikifiends. You can't just... It's not inner fiends. Net fiends.
It's related to Wikipedia.
Alright, yeah, that's why I said I'll allow it.
Let me see.
Yeah.
On that topic, the other day I was looking up, I know cats get zits on their chins.
Mm-hmm.
And, dogs do too. And, I was looking up, I was kind of curious about birds. I was like, do birds get zits? And, I was Googling it, and people were like, oh, my bird has a zit on his beak. And, people were always right, birds don't get zits. Take them to the vet right away. They don't get zits.
Yeah, it's like a tumor or something.
Yeah, or something serious, yeah.
Yeah, that's gross.
No, but dude, I found this.
I don't want to see pics of birds that are...
No. This is all text,
All right.
This
animals being sick.
It's nothing like that. This is from talkcockatiels.com. It's called Cockatiel Picking at My Pimples. Sorry, gross. So my cockatiel loves climbing all over me, and when he gets on my shoulder, he tries to pick at my acne. I have chronic severe acne. I'm pretty sure he can get sick from bacteria. How can I stop him from picking at my pustules? He ripped one before, and I think he tasted the blood and pus. I'm trying to keep him off my shoulder and place him away from me. He tries to pick at him. He just comes right back. Also, I don't like placing him in his cage. I go to school 9 to 4, and when I come home, I let him out until I go to bed. Please, I don't know what to do. He keeps walking all over me, and he won't do his own thing. I don't want him to get ill by popping my pustules and tasting the blood. I'm sorry, I know this is gross, but I can't help it that I have acne. Thank you.
That is gross.
Yeah, it's funny the comments too. People are like, in my experience, birds hate blemishes. Be it pills on clothing, dirt on benches, or acne on faces. This is horrifying.
The bird hates it, so that's why he's picking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom and stepdad's bird, he used to attack me. Maybe it's because I had a bunch of pimples.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, they hate zits. They're like big bullies.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just identify like, yeah, my bird will just slash my. They're just vicious.
Yeah, animals are weird. All right, well, that's a pretty good one. Covered a wide range of small articles. Little Aladdin. But that was pretty good.
Yes.
Is there anything else you want to add?
No.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. We've been the Wikifiends. So have a good night.
Good night.
All right, well, I don't know. You want to play video games or something?
Turn it off.
I was doing our after show chat.
No, just turn it off.
You don't want after show chat?
No, we got enough.
An hour.
It's fine.
Maybe the audience wants to hear me vape.
Yeah, get some good clean takes for that for us to use.
Is that too much?
Wait,
I'll do it.
Really annoying.
That's the is the soda after I have a soda. That's the vape take, and here's a soda take.
That should be the beginning of it. Should just be a couple of different soda drinking. like a collage.
How do you think when you like loop it and you bring in a beat and it's like a rap song almost like
it's like it's a beat. It's fun.
I did pretty good on that music right there. I'm not very musically talented, but I thought that was a good beat.
Oh yeah. You always have enjoyed this as well.
No, what? What are you talking about?
That one rap song.
Oh, my Thick Sisters one. That was all mechanical though. There was